Imagine two people you admire, two people who, in their own way, inspired you and helped you fundamentally become a better person. And then imagine these two same people that you admired so much goes to war against each other. What is up, you heathens and demons, you beautiful, blasphemous people? Welcome back to the Raging Atheist. I am Nakasuchi, the little bear. Today I want to talk about putting people on pedestals for reasons I am so far too feeble to understand. We humans tend to idolize other humans.
What you got under your coat?
It's unfair that we can't listen to our music.
It's because it is about drugs and promiscuous sex.
Simon and Garfunkel is poetry.
Yes, it's poetry. It is the poetry of drugs and promiscuous sex. Honey, they're on pot.
But before I get into today's video, I would just like to invite all of you to my Patreon page. If you can afford at least $1 a month, you will gain access to a lot more content, including at least one Colt Bunny video a month that only my patrons will be able to see. Now I'm getting used to Patreon, trying to fit all the benefits into my routine. So it's a work in process. But if you can afford at least $1 a month and would like to support this channel, well then I would be deeply grateful and hope to see you there. Now back to the video. I personally have idolized many people in the years I've plagued this planet. The first that I can remember were far back when I were still a very little child. Mr. Rogers and Captain Kangaroo. I can still remember their faces. I can still recall their shows. I loved them, even though I had never met them. I would go on to develop an obsession with Superman. And if you were a child in the 80s, like I was, that could only be one man. But Christopher Reeves would be the one to teach me a vital lesson. That these gods we prop up in our minds, well, they are only human. I can still remember being told about his accident. Being told that Superman couldn't be Superman anymore. The Man of Steel could no longer walk. I was fucking crushed. I don't think I idolized people for a while after that. Not until I reached the 8th grade and picked up a book by Stephen King. I could keep going on with this list. Currently, besides Stephen King, I tend to put YouTubers on those pedestals, people who have the bravery to bare themselves to the world. Two of these people, two human beings that I admire very much, are Essence of Thought and Rationality Rules. I found Essence of Thought so long ago, it seems like I have always watched him. He was the first openly trans person I ever watched, ever became devoted to, and he changed my life. And he was brutal with his intellectual takedowns of bad ideas. He openly spoke about humanism, a thing I claimed but didn't quite understand. He spoke of the horrible things he had been through in his past, and I hope that his brutal honesty reflects here on my channel. Rationality Rules I found about 2 years ago. I was and am a huge fan of Rachel Oates, and she is how I found him. I could make an entire video about how she is a shining beacon for humanity, but I will force myself to stay on point. RR was a smack in the face with cold reason and hard truth. I didn't even really understand what a fallacy was, and this kid that could be my son, with a really cool accent, is pointing them out and explaining what they are. I was hooked. He became my #1 atheist on YouTube for quite a while. And even though I spent unbelievable hours working on this channel, I always made time for both of them. I put them on pedestals. Both became slightly more than human to me. And then, one day, I joined Twitter. But when I joined it, at first I struggled to even use it. I just never used it. But for the last 3 months, I have been. And it has made both of these humans, well, more human to me. Essence of Thought on Twitter is the essence of thought I have always known, but darker, more anger, more despair. That undeniable brilliance is there, but on Twitter, Peter's pain clearly shows. I understand pain. Peter, I am sorry for yours. And Rationality Rules, I will admit, I only recently started following on Twitter, and I almost didn't follow him at all. It was about 6 months ago. GM Skeptic got in a Twitter spat with RR, and to this day I'm not really sure the full context of that exchange, but I know when I saw it, I was shocked. I thought there was no way the real Rationality Rules was so far to the right. I thought it was a fake account. And then Rationality Rules made that fucking video. A video, one of the few that he's made, that I had to stop watching. Rationality Rules just became, to me, a real human being. And not only a human being, but one that put out something that I found to be against everything that I believe in. We are all related. Just not in the Adam and Eve kind of way. I found Essence of Thought's response video to Rationality Rules to be spot on. But at that point, the Twitter war had already started. And I, little old Rage, found himself losing faith in two humans I had grown to admire. In the aftermath, I have found both of their reactions to be very human and worthy of respect.
Hey, you have to make your reputation on being honest and unmerciful. Honest, unmerciful.
And then, Essence of Thought made his video right before Faithless Forum, once it became known that Rationality Rules was going to be there. The nets were cast, the dice were landed, and a motherfucking shitstorm rolled in off the coast. I have seen an anger in Essence of Thought the past 6 months. An anger I believe was used against him by some that wanted to sow division in our community. People with grudges, pointing the finger at certain individuals, wanting to cause them harm. And this is when I had no choice but to defend rationality rules. I do not believe in labeling people as bigots unless their bigotry is clearly shown. But that does not take away from the fact that Rationality Rules video was wrong and that it did harm. He says his views are changed, but have they? Or does he see the need to save his career? Can we truly know this? My final conclusion, before I'm done speaking about it, hopefully forever, is that mistakes have been made. A conversation has begun. Rationality Rules deserves the chance to explain himself and amend his mistakes. Innocent bystanders with personal opinions should not be labeled as hate mongers or bigots. But trans people and their pain should not go ignored. Essence of Thought's voice and pain is valid. Human beings should be able to find happiness doing the things they love to do. And we should never forget that our heroes, they are human beings just like we are. They curse when they stub their toe. They smile when they watch their children sleep. And like everyone in this modern world, they read their phones as they take their shits. I am Nakasuchi. This is The Raging Atheist. I will see you soon. What's up, guys? If you like my video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Share me on your social media. Comment in the comment section below. Hit the subscribe button. Watch what's next. Watch what YouTube recommends for you. Tell all your friends how crazy Nakasuchi is. I'll see you soon.